This guy could be right for you, though. I really think the two of you will hit it off. How do you know him? So you're interested? Answer the question. He's a friend of William's. The fact that he was one of her brother-in-law's friends meant he was probably better vetted than the men her sister had introduced her to in the past. Interest piqued, she said, "Tell me about him." "I thought you weren't interested." "Would you tell me about him?" Yvonne giggled, cocky in her triumph. "Like I said, William knows him better, but I've also met him, and he's really nice. You'll like him." "What does he look like?" "He's about 6 foot tall, great personality, really nice guy." Shawna watched her sister closely. She seemed evasive, which made Shawna suspicious. "You mentioned nice twice, but not whether or not he's attractive. Does he have an eye in the middle of his forehead or something?" Yvonne waved her hand and snorted, as if to say, "Don't be ridiculous." "Of course not." "Then what does he look like?" "Don't worry, he's attractive. He's not your usual type. That's all. So please don't do that thing you do." "What thing?" Shawna asked, already offended. "You know that thing you do when you're trying to cover up your surprise or when you don't like something. You smile, but it's this weird, creepy smile. Be open-minded." "I don't do that. And why would I need to be open-minded? What's wrong with him, Yvonne?" Concern started to set in. "Nothing. But really, I don't want to spoil the surprise. Trust your big sister on this one. Okay?" So she trusted her sister, and shown up here to meet a complete stranger. When Shawna entered the restaurant, smiling staff welcomed her with a "Bienvenue." She told the hostess she had a reservation and gave her the name of the person with whom she had the meeting. "Roger James? Your party's already here." The brunette smiled, and her gaze drifted to the interior wall, outside Shawna's line of vision. Shawna pasted a smile on her face and stepped forward to get a good look. That's when her date stepped from the dim interior into the better-lit entryway. Her smile froze in place, and her body became as stiff as a corpse. It wasn't that her date was unattractive. Oh, no. He didn't suffer from a deficiency in looks at all. In fact, he was sexy. Hella sexy. Even more sexy than the last time she'd seen him, though a bit underdressed in a pair of jeans and a button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up to reveal rugged arms dusted with fine hair. Wisps of dark hair, which she knew from first-hand experience were soft, brushed the collar of his striped shirt. She pressed her palm to her chest in a futile attempt to control the erratic beat of her heart. Unfortunately, her brain had gone into overdrive, reminding her of unbridled passion in Chicago 6 years ago when she'd fallen into bed with this man. She'd never forgotten the 2 torrid nights they'd spent together, where the intimacies they shared had left her breathless and exhausted in his arms. Every caress of his lips and touch of his rough, work-worn hands was seared into her brain, and she could never, ever forget what it felt like to have the dark stubble shadowing his jaw graze the sensitive spot on her neck, or the skin of her inner thigh. Her knees weakened at the thought. A corner of his lips did a slow slant upward, and Shawna tore her eyes away from the invitation in them to stare into a pair of amazing blue eyes that rooted her in place. "Hello, Shawna." The mellow sound of his voice greeted her as he approached. He exuded a confidence and casual virility not present during their first introduction. Back then, he'd been a little less sure of himself, though very charming. The sound of her name on his tongue sent a tremor through every cell of her body. "Ryan." She whispered his name in disbelief because his name wasn't Roger James, and he wasn't a stranger. She'd hoped never to set eyes on this man again. "It's good to see you, love." Shocked out of her reverie by the affectionate word, rage erupted inside of Shawna. She hadn't seen him since that day in Chicago when her heart had shattered into 1,000 pieces. She did what she hadn't been able to do back then. She hauled back and slapped him.